time for the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Senior Scoop. It's the show where we celebrate connection, community, and the journeys of aging. Well, I'm Bob Scott from Caregiver Volunteers.
And I'm Maria Penna from Harrogate.
And we got a cool one today, right?
Yeah, it's all something we share, love.
Love, oh, it's so in the air. Now let's be honest, all right, so Valentine's Day just happened. Did you go out? Did you do anything?
To be honest with you, we had reservations and I canceled them. I'm like, I don't want to go. It's all the crowded, and I said, we'll go another day.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's become that holiday, you know?
Exactly. I got my beautiful flowers. I love flowers. I'm happy with flowers and a pizza. I mean, it's good.
I'll tell you, it's so funny though. I've got my son, and he's like, you know, with the first girlfriend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, you know, like the 9 o'clock, like going to Scarborough Fair. I'm like, oh boy. It's a good thing that his allowance is going to good use. So
yeah.
You know, but no, it's a great time, and February is always a lot of fun. And we got a great show. So who's joining us today? Who we got here?
We have Dr. Rizzo, cardiologist from RWJ Community Medical Center, who's going to talk about the heart.
Oh,
and then we
cool.
have Mary Kaba, who's going to be talking about senior dating.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Mary's an expert.
Mary's the expert. We got an expert on senior dating. That's great. Who else is coming in?
And then we have Torrey Jansen from Connect, which is
cool.
her company, which Mary is also part of.
Oh, very cool. All right. Well, we're gonna learn a lot about a lot of things, and it's gonna be all a heart-driven, love-filled episode of the Senior Scoop. So we'll be right back. We're gonna get our doctor up here. We'll be right back, everybody.
You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria. Thanks for joining us, and we will be right back. The views and opinions expressed on Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria, presented in partnership with Caregiver Volunteers in Harrogate, are for entertainment and informational purposes only. These views do not necessarily reflect the opinions or policies of Caregiver Volunteers, Harrogate, this station, or their affiliates. The content provided should not be considered medical, legal, or financial advice. For personalized guidance, please consult with a licensed professional. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back. Our first guest has spent decades caring for the hearts right here in our community. This is Dr. Thomas Rizzo, and he is a board-certified cardiologist with more than 30 years of experience, specializing in diagnosing, treating, and preventing heart disease so people can live longer, happier lives. Thanks, Doc, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's really exciting. And now this is all part of our community corner here, and so do you work over at Community Hospital?
Well, I'm on staff at Community, but I'm basically office based at this time, and I'm very happy about that.
I'm sure. So now, as we're recognizing Heart Month here, now why is this such a good time of the year and so important for awareness?
Well, it's any time of the year is good for awareness. Actually, they just happened to pick out this month in 1964 when LBJ decided that this should be Heart Month, when I'm very glad he did, because there's been a dramatic reduction in the mortality since that time. Back in 1964, about 1 in 2 people in the United States, more or less, passed away from various forms of heart disease. It's cut in half at this time, and it's and it's not for all the fancy interventions and all that other business, although that does have a tremendous amount of impact. It's mostly because of awareness and treatment and just plain old good medical care.
Wow. And so what are the most common heart conditions that people are facing today?
It would vary, but in this country, it's mostly ischemic heart disease or significant blockages in the arteries of the heart, and actually in even other arteries leading to the head or to the legs and so on and so forth. That's the most common, although that is what has taken a significant drop in terms of the mortality, more than pretty much any other aspect of cardiology. And there are many.
Oh, wow. And so what made you get into cardiology?
I had a professor in school who just swayed me towards it. He took me under his wing, and that's all I ever wanted to do after that.
Really? Mm-hmm. So now, were you always knew that you wanted to be a doctor, or was that where it really took it over right there?
I always wanted to be a doctor. I don't remember wanting to be anything else.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, that's the more we've learned about what you guys do, it's incredible because you're always on. You know, I mean, it's tough.
Well, In my younger days, yes. Now, now not so much.
So now, you know what? When it comes to the heart, too, I guess one of the scariest things is we just had a mutual friend, unfortunately, pass away of a massive heart attack out of nowhere. Was going for a walk, and then, what are the signs? What should people be aware of? I mean, it's such a tough science.
Unfortunately, some things are completely asymptomatic. People can have no symptoms whatsoever, and all of a sudden, that's it. And but the most common signs would be shortness of breath, that usually an undue shortness of breath. I don't mean where you have to take a breath in or out, but let's say you're walking across the room or trying to climb a flight of stairs, and last week you were able to do it, this week you're huffing and puffing. Well, that's kind of a warning sign that you should heed. There are other signs that are typical signs of impending heart problems, such as angina. Angina is basically a symptom complex. It's not any one symptom where the result of closing of the artery or lack of blood flow to the heart can cause symptoms such as pressure, tightness. Some people describe it as pain. It can be located almost anywhere, mostly in the chest. It can go down your arm, up your neck. It could present as a toothache sometimes. It's really everything. It's very variable. And that varies from individual to individual to individual. So that would potentially answer the question, well, why couldn't you figure this out before? Because every person presents differently. And for all you ladies out there, it's even more difficult because the symptoms are somewhat more atypical.
Oh, wow.
So,
I have a question.
Sure.
There's a lot of new screenings out. I personally just had a cardiac calcium screening,
Right.
and insurance doesn't pay for that.
Correct.
How beneficial is that for people to get?
Well, you have to qualify that with, the person who comes in with a certain degree of risk to begin with. Now, if I had a 30-year-old walking in, chances are I would not get a calcium score. However, if you're a smoker or a diabetic, or you have hypertension, or you have a significant family history of early heart disease, I would get that. But it's not the be-all and end-all. It's a very good screening tool, and it doesn't tell the individual if he or she has blockages in the artery. It just tells us the degree of calcium, and from that, and based on the person's age, we can then relatively calculate a 10-year risk for cardiac disease.
Oh, really? Wow. And so, but now, with that being said, what age, you said if a 30-year-old comes in, what age should you even if you're feeling fine, you really should have a cardiologist to get checked out?
Very tough question to answer. In fact, there's no such thing as a specific age. So I usually tell folks who want to see a cardiologist without any symptoms, I say, see your general physician first. If they feel can do a screening, a cardiogram, blood test, so on and so forth, and if there's an issue there, then it might be a good idea to see a cardiologist. Just to let you know, not everybody needs to see a cardiologist at a certain age.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I mean it's such a scary thing, because I know when you get, anxiety can bring on that. If you start thinking that something's going wrong with you, you can even bring on more symptoms. It's I'm sure.
Very, very, very true. And that's one of the things that we have to sift through is the symptoms that are generated by anxiety rather than true symptoms.
Yeah.
So a good history. If you sit with the patient and you talk to the person and you ask a lot of questions, and then you can get some answers that you can then formulate into an idea, and that's an extremely important part of the care. It's the initial history taking.
Now, how are your feelings then? On the old WebMD. It can really cause a lot of trouble when it comes to this.
That and Dr. Google, I think, are the biggest problems that we have. Unfortunately, I think it's a double-edged sword. It does have its place to get some information out to the public. Unfortunately, how you interpret that information is where we get a lot of problems. For example, someone will say, "Oh, I looked on WebMD or what have you, and I saw that you're not supposed to take aspirin. It's bad for you." Well, if you recall, several years ago, there was a study that came out. I'm assuming you're familiar with the aspirin issue. That they said, "Oh, aspirin is not necessary for everyone." However, you have to qualify that. Again, if you're a young person with no risk factors, then the aspirin can actually be a detriment, because aspirin, believe it or not, has a lot of side effects, one of which can be bleeding. And so it can be more detrimental to the individual who doesn't need it. Now, fast forward or shift, if you will, and you go into a patient who has high risk, smoker, diabetic, cholesterol, family history, previous heart trouble, those people need aspirin. Okay, so it's not, so that's why it can get easily confused. And then I've had people who had coronary interventions, and after an intervention, meaning putting a stent in one of the arteries, after that, you require 2 aspirin-like medications at least in order to prevent that device from becoming clotted. So this person, one particular person, decided, well, I just read this study on Google that you don't need to have this in, and they took the medicine off, and it was not a good outcome for that person. So, and that was years ago, but fortunately, she's still with us.
So you're like you're pretty much like an engineer up there. Everybody's different. Every case is different. Everything is a little bit different, right?
So I'm going to take that engineering issue, because I see a lot of engineers, and engineers are either yes or no. And unfortunately, medicine is you have like yes, and then a whole area of gray, and then no. So it's not quite yes and no. And your job is to sift through all of that gray area and figure out what's going on.
So what would you say? I mean, if you are concerned, or maybe if you just want to make sure that your heart's in the best shape, what's the best advice you could give to somebody?
Well, my best advice, as I said before, is to see your general internist. They're going to do an exam very different from ours. So if you have a great family physician or internist, they're going to do a really good physical examination. When you go to a specialist like me, we examine you, but we're really concentrating on a very specific area. We are fortunate in that sense that I have relatively limited area in which to explore, whereas the general folks, they have to explore everything, and they will kind of set the pick, if you will, and get an idea if there's enough of a problem, and then they say, go see a cardiologist. One of the most common things is people have a minor abnormality in the electrocardiogram, and very often it's of no significance, but they want to get it checked out, and then we can check those folks out.
That's what we hear all the time too. I mean, especially with the clearances for surgeries and
all the
of
time.
these different things, and that's the abnormal comes, and it's like, oh man, the scared. No, just relax.
Well, to be very honest about that, it's you want us as cardiologists to screen them, because when you go into the operating room, those physicians have a totally different perspective. They're not concerned about the heart. I mean, they're concerned enough to say yes or no, there's a problem.
Right.
But they're not there to treat the heart or to recognize it or to find out. They're relying on us to say, yes, you're okay to have this surgery at a certain degree of risk. So I wouldn't, not defending them or anything, but to justifying the way they do things. They have a job to do. They have to concentrate on that job, and it's us to tell them, go ahead and do it.
No, that's awesome. And what do you do when you're not doctoring? What do you do for fun?
Well, in the old days, I was a crazy bicyclist, but I've changed my ways. I have 5 grandkids. They keep me busy.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being here. But I'm sorry, we're not going to let you go.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Can you really die of a broken heart?
Well, you're going to find out in a moment when the dating proceeds.
All right. Well, I got a little bit of fun here. We do have to play our patented game time with you.
Game time.
That's right. We're going to ask you a couple questions here. We're going to play with our audience as well. These are some heart smart game time questions. So we're gonna test our audience, and then you're gonna help me out and make sure that I'm on the right page here with this.
No problem.
Our number one question, multiple choice. What is the number one cause of death in the United States? We're gonna keep this uplifting. Cancer, heart disease, stroke, or diabetes? Do you think it's cancer, heart disease, stroke, or diabetes? Let's try. Anybody think it's stroke? Hands up. Anybody think it's diabetes? Anybody think it's heart disease? Yes. You're kind of good at this. And how about cancer? Well, The number one is heart disease. Heart disease is the number one. So all of you guys should feel good about your very depressing answer. Thank you very much. And now, all right, question number 2, true or false? High blood pressure often has no symptoms, which is why it's called the silent killer. Is this true or false? Let's see, hands up for true? True. Hands up for false. What do you think, Dad? What do we got?
I agree with you completely. Now, may I?
Yes, please.
What I see all the time is folks coming in saying, I know my blood pressure is up, it's high, I can feel it. Unfortunately, that's not true. So most of the people are feeling, whatever a stress situation is bothering them, and they assume that's caused by the blood pressure. And of course, the first thing they do is take your blood pressure under stress. So this comes here. So this beckons the chicken or egg story. So which came first? Yeah. So in most of the circumstances, the stress is causing the pressure to go up, not vice versa. So there was a very old study. I'll be very brief. Where they took students, young students, and they would test their blood pressure at rest and then give them an impossibly difficult math question in 5 minutes to answer it. And then they they took their blood pressures again, a stressful circumstance. Every one of them was high. So that shows that the stressful circumstances can raise the blood pressure. And one of the problems that we see as cardiologists all the time is people coming in with elevated blood pressure. They come in with a list of 50, 60, 70 blood pressures that they took in one day. And unfortunately, that was working against them because it's just creating a vicious cycle of anxiety, blood pressure. So if you folks are out there checking your blood pressure, I'm advising check it when your doctor's gonna wanna know what's your blood pressure when you are at your best. And that's the blood pressure we treat.
Oh, well, that's thank you for that. And when it comes to blood pressure, because I know that they've got the numbers, what is good blood pressure?
In general, 130 on the top with a systolic number or less, and 80 or less on the diastolic or the bottom number. Okay.
So 120 over 70 is good.
120 over 70 is perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to try to get that one. Thank you, Dr. Rizzo. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
For Community Corner, and we will see you guys. We'll be right back.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you, man.
Music. You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, everybody, we are back, and we just had a great time with Dr. Rizzo. And you know what? We learned some new things. There's this Thrive Well program over at Community Health, and they've got some new programs. And these are, I'm reading this right. Programs are free and open to all members. Now, what's a member? What does that mean?
You just there's a QR code here, and they would just sign up. So I'm going to hand these out to everybody, but Community Medical Center now has these great programs. There's lunch and learns. I'm sure we could hopefully get a bus to go over there, but everything. There's a balance screening. If you missed the one that we had here, there's a lunch and learn, understanding brain injury, discover the power of nutrition. There's a workout class. There's chair yoga. So and then there's the other one is a lunch and learn about colon cancer. So if there's anything that you want to know about, Madison here is from Community Medical Center, and she said if there's any program you'd like to learn about, let them know. But this is a great service in the community, and it's nice. It'll get you out a little bit, and I'm going to talk to Sharon about it, and maybe we can have a bus for some.
Wow, that would be really cool. So they got, it looks like they've got balance screening on March 10th, March 11th. They got a lunch and learn on the brain injury, and then we've got the power nutrition on the 16th, the 20th. They've got the pound workout class. If they did this all in one day, it's a good thing. I wouldn't end with the balance screening. I'd be falling over. And then the chair yoga. I got to tell you, that is my speed. I want to try that. I'm not even kidding. Oh, we're so in. When is that? All right, that's
the
23rd. I'm so in.
Okay, me and Bob are going to go to the class.
Oh my gosh, that'll be awesome. Yeah. I'm so in. We're gonna do that. We got to do a live one there. But speaking of that, speaking of chair yoga, look at that. I don't know how I'm getting there, but we have with us a very special guest with a very fun special topic. This is Mary Kaba, and heart health isn't only physical; it's emotional too. And you're gonna tell us all about that. Welcome.
Thank you for having me back again. I appreciate it. Thank you to all of you who had come out. This is a topic that you can talk on for days, right? There's so many components to dating at any age and anywhere, but I tried to keep it brief because I know that big hook comes out after like 15 minutes. So I wanted to just touch base on a couple of areas that I think are important. And of course, if you have any questions or stories and you want to stop me and share them, you are welcome to. So being a senior, whether you're in high school or whether you're of senior age,
I like it.
Senior dating comes with its own set of challenges and rewards for everyone. There's navigation, there's rejection and how you handle it, all the different challenges and all the different perks. So I want to get an idea of who here has dated in recent years. So, small number. Who hasn't dated for a long time, maybe a few decades? So dating is very different. I want to talk about dating then and dating now for anyone who is interested in dipping their toe back into the dating world. So I just want to share this picture of, what dating looked like then. A lot of people would meet maybe at a dance, right?
Sure.
All the men who snuck in without paying and got caught, or at a church social, maybe there was a bowling alley or a roller rink or a place where you got together with a group of people and you met one another. Right. Somebody might have hooked you up. How did you meet your gal, Bob?
High school.
High school. So she's the one and only.
Oh, I didn't say that. I mean, we met in high school, and then we broke up in college, did the responsible thing, and then I realized that the grass was definitely not greener, and I went back and I got her, and now we're married like 20 some years and 3 kids later, and it feels so wonderful. Happy Valentine's Day.
Very nice. Yeah.
Lisa. Okay, so I'm a little different. I was a widow very young, and I needed somebody to cut my lawn. So I hired this very nice guy, and over a couple of years, we became very friendly, and one day he came to my door with my bill, but it wasn't my bill. He was asking me out on a date. Aww. And we dated for 23 years before I married him.
He's the best.
He's a very patient man. So if everyone was to share a dating story, I'm sure no two are exactly alike. We all come to the table with our different stories, our different personalities, what we want, what we expect. Even the way we dress and sound and sit or walk across the room conveys a message. So when you think about dating, it's really necessary to kind of know who you are so you know what it is you want. But first we're going to start with a little bit of fun of dating then and now and a true or false. So when you know the answer, shout it out. Don't be afraid of being too loud or think you're yelling at me. I am the middle child of 8, so we had to talk loud and fast, so I won't be insulted in any way, shape, or form. All right, dating then. 50 years ago, one was most likely to find a date through friends or family.
Oh, that's got to be true.
That is true, Bob.
That's got to be.
That is true, yeah. There weren't dating sites like we have now. No. Maybe there were, and I just didn't know of them. Technology. In early 20th century, dating evolved out of a courtship ritual where young women entertained male callers under the watch of a chaperone. True. That is true.
Whoa, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So, mom and dad are watching. And of course, now dating isn't just between a male and a female. There's all types of dating. Number 3, Blind dates, parties, churches, ice rinks, as I said, bowling alleys, different dances, and different groups hanging out were the most common way of meeting a potential date.
True.
That is true. My dad always tells the story how he was sneaking into a dance where my mother was at the door collecting the money. This is my mom and dad.
Aww.
They were married over 50 years, close to 60 before my dad passed away. And, when you said for better or worse back then, it was better or worse, no matter what, no matter if you wanted to kill your spouse or not. Mm-hmm. You forgave them and you moved on for the most case because that was the acceptable way. It's not that way anymore. All right. Number 4, men almost always initiated the date.
I'm going to say true.
That is true back then.
Back then.
Then. Ladies, not now. You want something, you are welcome to go after it. Okay? So,
Get comfortable on this one. You go, baby.
dating then, on average, it took 6 to 8 dates before a couple was willing to enter into an exclusive relationship.
That's got to be true.
That is true.
Oh, right.
And just for you know now, 30% of the men think by date 3, they should be getting some sex. So, very different.
Date 3.
How off color can I be?
Listen,
Oh,
we edit. Don't worry about it.
can I say
We're all
sex?
adults here.
And number 6 and last for then, dating back in the day, women were expected to refrain from saying anything that would assert their intelligence.
That's got to be false.
Who thinks it's true? Raise your hand.
How
The
far
truths have it.
Really?
You're just supposed to be cute and demure and quiet, and the man, took charge. Now women are proud of their intelligence, where they are in life, how far they've come, their dedication to family, to their spouse, to their career, women's lib, and we can be home, pregnant, and working. Who did that? So that was a little bit about dating then. Dating now in whatever year we're in. True or false? The number one way people date today is through technology online. True. That is the most common way to meet a date. Number 2, 33% of online dates form a relationship, 33% do not, and 33% just give up.
So,
I'm going to say true.
It's true.
wow.
I don't know if those are really good statistics.
So one third works out, 1/3 does not, and 1/3 just quit.
Just throws their hands in the air.
I thought 90% of marriages actually come from online dating. Like the ones that are very
Yeah.
successful.
Out of the
Yes.
33%.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. 133% of the time, 100% of the time. No, I
right.
hear you.
Women who post photos on internet dating sites receive twice as many messages.
Oh, true.
True.
That is true. So a little note about posting a photo. I mean, I'm not a dating expert, but I've had my fair share of dating in my senior years, and I had to learn the hard way how to date online. And I had to learn to ask a prospective date if I'm going to recognize them from their photo, because a lot of people want to use a photo that might be 10 or 15 years old, and it's only going to cause a disappointment when they walk through the door.
I don't understand that.
I
know
it's
I
mind-boggling.
I get it, but I mean, I don't. I guess I'm fortunate not to have been in this world.
So, I mean, you want to look your best, but like I'm someone who doesn't wear makeup except for my lipstick. So I'm not going to get all made up and post a photo, because that person who's coming into the diner or wherever to have a cup of coffee with me is not going to recognize me and possibly to be disappointed. You want to showcase who you are. If you're colorful, if you're demure, whatever your style is. You want, if you're looking for a long-term relationship or just a hookup, you might wear something differently. So you really just have to think about all of these things when you're posting a photo. What's that?
Filters.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know about filters and things like that. And I had a neighbor who went away to Florida, and all of a sudden she had no wrinkles. She looked so beautiful. And I said, did you find Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth? Like, wow, I can't believe this. What are you using? And then I learned, oh, there's filters that you could just look young and magnificent all the time. But then when you see them, it's like, oh.
You know what? Here's my thing. I don't understand, because didn't we grow up like, I don't want my picture on anything. Like, I don't want to be. I'm like, I know, right? Like, I feel so stupid talking about myself about anything, right? So like, and I think that the online dating, in my opinion, as someone who's never done it, it makes a lot of sense, right? You cut through a lot of the garbage. I'm Irish. My family met in a bar. You know, that's the way it was. You know, so and it's like, and to your point, you know, my parents, they fought a lot, but they wouldn't, like, I'm in 8 generations of 0 divorces in my family. Like, we're not allowed. Well, we got a lot of murders though. So I mean, it's, but I'm saying that a lot of murders. That's probably my wife right there. No, but what I'm wondering is with why do people feel? Do you think that they have to pretend to be somebody different? And is there at any point where they think that they're going to be able to get past that initial lie? You know, I mean, building your whole relationship.
I have to tell you, Bob, some people you meet online dating aren't really looking to meet you. There's a lot of scammers or catfishers. People who do catfishing, they pretend they're someone they're not.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what photo they use. They just might want you to say, "Man, you are one hot tamale. I really want to meet you." Right? You don't know who's real, who's not real, unless you're asking really good open-ended questions. Or I've met the same man who's had at least 10 different names because he's just, you know, looking to see. And, you know, for me, I'm not a television watcher. So talking with people online, I always thought I get to practice my communication skills.
Yeah.
I get to practice my behavior analysis to see where the conversation's going to go, if they're going to set me up to ask for something, and I get to learn about other cultures and foods and religions. So my friends will say, "Why do you spend your time talking with people online?" And I said, think of it this way. I don't watch TV. You watch soap operas? Most people watch stories. I said, I am the star of my own interactive soap opera, and these are my leading men. And when I've had enough of them, I just discontinue the series. There is no harm done. The harm is when you fall for someone who's catfishing or scamming you, and oh my God, they're building this relationship because they have all the time in the world because they're doing it with several people.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, like, you develop emotions and feelings, because it's a good feeling when you're getting attention from someone, right? Who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden their mother is sick and they need money for, a doctor's bill or medication. And you're like, okay, let me give you some money. And then they need this and then they need that. And you never meet. But you just, people, you have a big heart, you have a good heart, and people fall prey to that, unfortunately. But if you're truly on a dating site, like I thought, you think people are going to be honest because you are going to meet. So, of course, you're going to use a current picture because you're going to see them, right? So I don't. It depends on why they're on the site.
So now, what do you think too? And that's a really good point too, because I mean, I've had friends that go on some sites and then they're like, I can't believe how crazy this person is, and then I'm like, well, what site were you on? Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to dating now, I mean, listen, my dad jumped back in, after we lost my mom, and I mean, it was just, he was the one that told me, he's like, this is just nuts. He's like, because you're on an app, and it's like, this isn't the real world, like to all these different people. So, but if you're thinking about doing this, okay, and you've come from a world where like technology to begin with is a nightmare, what are the few things you should really do? Should you get a decent picture? Should you write your bio? Like, what should you concentrate on?
So I am going to talk about that in a little bit. Nope, it's a great question when I talk about the various apps. Does anybody want to guess how many dating apps there are worldwide?
6,000?
7,500 plus worldwide. They're not all designed just for seniors, but 7,500 apps. How? Who? It depends on what you're looking for. Maybe there's certain apps your dad should avoid. I could tell you, unless he's looking to just roll in bed with somebody, go on Tinder.
He hangs on our time.
That is one of the ones recommended. But let's finish dating now. So, number 4, studies show that men who reported an income higher than $250,000 receive 156 more emails than those who only make $40,000 or less. True, but don't forget there are liars and people who aren't truthful. So if you're looking for someone just with the big bucks, it doesn't mean they have it.
That's right.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
So tell them to provide their income tax return.
I know. I've had friends that, I kind of like to see the world through rose-colored glasses. I believe everyone. I trust everyone until you've taken that from me, and not everyone deserves that. I used to tell my students when I worked in a grade school in the beginning of the year, you all have an A+. Isn't that great? You start off with the highest. It's up to you how much time and dedication and work you want to put into maintaining that. Mm-hmm. The same with dating. If you're going to trust everyone and think they're, saying who they are and what they are, it's not necessarily true. Mm-hmm. So, there's a way to recognize some red flags. When it comes to speed dating, there are 2 to 3 matches out of every 10. True or false?
I'm going to say false.
That's actually true.
Really?
Now, I've never been speed dating. Mm-hmm. I think it would be interesting. Anyone speed dating? I think you get just a couple of minutes. There's, rows of seats and men and women or whatever type of dating you're looking for. And usually on average, it's like 3 minutes. You get to highlight a little bit about yourself and then move on. And how many times does someone say, tell me something about yourself? I've only known myself 63 years. I can't think of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. So being prepared for that is helpful as well. But that is true. Maybe that's 90% of the marriages.
Yeah, right.
And the last one for dating now. In the online dating world, women are afraid of meeting a serial killer, and men are afraid of meeting someone fat. True or false?
I would say false.
That is actually true.
Really?
So I just want to say to those women who don't have the perfect body, I'm obviously fluffy. Thank God there are men who like a voluptuous, curvy woman. Don't hide it. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
I mean, actually, I told my current fella that I needed to lose weight because, talking about chair yoga, putting on the yoga pants and spending the time my shoe is enough exercise for me. I'm out of breath. And he says, you're going to reduce your boobs and your butt too? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not just going to target one area. It's all going to reduce. And so, just so you know, I am a sex goddess. I'm just in the wrong location. I should be in Africa because that's where the men like a figure like this. So there's hope for everybody.
I love you, man.
It's just true. So what does this tell us, dating then and now? To me, I think that long ago, we had to go out, right? We had to dress up, put our best face on, dress nice, be polite, meet people organically. Maybe it was a glance across the room. You saw someone in a group. You liked how they were interacting. Now you can sit behind a screen and type on your keyboard. Dating now is about studies, and it's about what the world is looking for in that. It's not as organic. It's statistics, and it's
Really?
a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes
Especially
a lot of
if you're
sense.
not used, being truthful. So some of the current dating sites that are recommended for seniors, there's, Silver Single, Senior Match, Our Time. The top best 5 dating sites for people over 50 is number 1 comes in at Date My Age. Mm-hmm. They get a 9.9 out of stars. Number 2 is eHarmony. Mm-hmm. They get 9.8 stars. Okay. Number 3, Dating.com. Our Love comes in at number 4, and then Luxy at number 5. And a lot of these sites offer you a chance for video chats in a safe environment. It's a secure platform, and it helps people build meaningful connections. And that's something that you really want to focus on. So when we talk about connecting to someone, the way we communicate and the way we wish to connect with them is going to be different for each individual in this dating world, how you navigate that. So my lovely business partner, Lisa, handed something out that said, "Are you in the know?" Of course, I'm trying to act young and not put on my eyeglasses to read what's in front of me. So this helped me when I started dating online and figured out everyone wasn't honest. So I made a list of the qualities and the values and the traits that were key to me, whether I agreed with it or not. And then I thought about each one and what was a must for me and what was a must not. And what was, well, I could work with that. Like, I like a tall man, preferably 6'2" or taller. But if he had all these great qualities and he was only 5'8", I can, compromise there. That's okay. Having a sense of humor is an absolute must for me. Someone who is respectful towards others, an absolute must for me. So you have to decide what's important for you. And when you go home, just kind of take a look at that and see what's important, make that list. Is it someone loyal? Is it someone honest? And honestly, watch how they interact with the people who are close to them. We give the best part of ourselves away to strangers because we know if we're having a bad day, we could go home and yell at our family and the people that will, put up with us. So if you're on a date with somebody and they're very rude to the wait staff, or they don't hold the door open for elderly or a female or a pregnant mom, kind of take note of that, because when you're new in a relationship and you're getting all that wonderful attention, you miss the red flags sometimes. I know, the hook's coming out soon, right? The red flags that tell you, watch out. I remember being on a date. I had chatted with this guy for a while and finally decided to meet him. And for me, I am brutally honest, even before I get to the date part. And I realized I had to tell men, look, I will not meet you in a bar where you have the opportunity to be or get drunk and forget how fabulous I am. Nor do I want them to invest all the time and money for a dinner on a first date. It's got to get costly if you're expecting the male to pay. So I would always want to meet in the afternoon, if I could, for coffee somewhere I knew. Don't give them your address to come to your home. Don't get in a car and let them pick you up. Just meet them somewhere you're familiar with and be aware of your surroundings. So I'm with this guy who I thought, had all these great qualities and everything. And so we were just having some appetizers and coffee at the diner. And then I stacked some of the plates and he's like, "What are you doing?" He was so disgusted. He's like, "Don't do that. That's the waitress's job." And that just totally turned me off. I know, it was just like it was so beneath him to be with somebody who would help the server out. Not a big deal to people, but to me, it was just a big deal that he didn't treat the server that kindly or with any compassion. So, this is just a little exercise that is helpful.
This is good.
And seeing those red flags, yeah.
Well, it's good for you, too. You kind of learn a little bit about yourself.
You learn
right?
about what you want. It's easy not to realize what you want when you think you want everything. So what's most important and what you absolutely want, what you absolutely don't want, and where you're going to compromise, because no one out there is perfect.
Well, isn't too, another thing, I know, like, especially with, my dad's situation, but a lot of situations, it's about curing loneliness too. It's about having like just somebody to do stuff with, you know what I mean? So that comfortability, and so you do have to have a lot of the same, you don't have to have the same opinions. In best case, you probably don't want that, but you do have to have the same likes to a degree and what you're going to be doing.
And there are people who love a good debate or argument. And you might be looking for someone like that. There are people who don't want to physically get involved, but are looking for friendship or companionship. There are dating sites for everyone. But it's really best if you have friends that can recommend somebody for you. My friends would say, why are you on dating sites? Why don't you let your friends fix you up with somebody? And I would say, okay, friends, who you fixing me up with? And we're like, oh, there's nobody good enough for you. I'm like, well, then I have to fix myself up. And that's what dating sites are about, right?
Wow.
So.
I'd be intrigued too. Has anybody out here been on dating sites? Anybody try them? Yeah, is it as in the beginning, is it just such an interesting thing, right? The first time when you're on these apps and you can see all these different, because it used to be so, like you're saying, when it used to be, how long, I mean, you had to go somewhere. You had to be dragged out of your house. Your buddies had to grab you and bring you somewhere to meet somebody. And now it's around the clock. You can be looking around.
You could wake up at 2 a.m. to pee and get online and start chatting.
See now, like
that's what we seniors do, Bob. We get up in the night to use the bathroom, right? Am I right? I can't be the only one.
You're killing me.
Thank you. Yes,
You're killing me.
it's just the honest truth, and you know, you want to be aware if potential people are always online, like all the time. And especially when you have the opportunity, if you look at it as an opportunity to meet people all around the world. I've dated lots of men in my backyard, like right here in town, that just, I don't know, they just didn't do it for me. And then I met this fella online.
Yeah.
On Instagram, not on a dating site. And I thought, that's a scammer.
On Instagram?
Right? Yeah, look at that. Who looks like that?
Look at him.
I'm like, that can't be real. And then we developed a friendship, and that friendship over a year grew into admiration and love. And this is where we met 3 years ago in Africa after my 20-hour plane trip.
Oh my God.
So love, even in another country, is possible. Depends how patient you are and how willing you are to look at opportunities. Is it ideal? No, I wouldn't tell everybody, fall in love with somebody who's a 20-hour plane ride.
No.
That's an expensive
That would be
dating.
tough, yeah.
It's tough. Absolutely.
I've been married now for 14 years, actually. I met my spouse. I'm married to a woman. And basically, I was just widowed to pancreatic cancer within 8 months of my wedding date to another woman. And I was heartbroken, but somehow something came about, like it's almost like a scene from Ghost, right? So anyway, so I was pulled into going into a dating site. I was mortified. I was so scared because I've never been on a dating site before, but I was pulled into it. It was Yahoo Personals, and I was so scared. I would not put my picture in it. I would not make myself. I didn't want to be seen. I did not put photos. I changed my name to my late mother's name so that I would be protected, whatever. And then I could not write anything in there because I was so scared. And all I wrote in the comments was, I am mortified. Yahoo Personals wrote me, Furley. Oh no, at that time I was Faye. That's my fake name. So anyway, she said, you actually have a better chance of meeting somebody if you could write something more, because all I wrote was I was mortified. But guess what? My first match is the person I'm married to for 14 years.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That is awesome.
It's really neat. I think it's great to be able to put yourself out there without that, and actually have these check boxes. I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, I guess.
It's scary to be vulnerable in any type of situation.
Yeah.
And when you're honest with someone, you face that vulnerability. And sometimes we have trouble being honest with ourselves. And it's important to know who you are. And one last thing, if I can talk about, is your love language.
Uh-oh.
Knowing your love language and the love language of your partner really, or potential partner, really helps you to understand and communicate better. So there is a therapist, Dr. Gary Chapman, who put out a book about love languages. There's 5. One is words of affirmation. Are you someone who needs and appreciates verbal expressions of care and affection? It could be vocalizing with compliments or handwritten notes or emails or text messages. So that's that's one type of love language. The second is gifts. Either you like to receive or give gifts, something tangible or intangible. It could be chocolates, it could be flowers, it could be dinner, or it could be spending time, taking a walk, doing something together that you enjoy. The third love language are acts of service. Are you drawn to doing something helpful or kind for your partner, or showing your love in a nonverbal way? Maybe they know that you had a tough night and they're going to bring you coffee in bed, or something nice like that. The fourth is quality time. You're someone who craves that time with that person. You want to do an activity together, watching TV, talking, taking a walk together, just being present without distractions. And that's key, without distractions. I know somebody whose partner loved to take her to dinner, but the whole time he was on his cell phone. So they weren't really spending quality time together, because that person was distracted. And the fifth is physical touch. If you're someone who needs physical expressions of love, whether it's sexual or holding hands or a back rub, kissing, anything like that. Well, there's more than one. You can have more than one love language. I think I fall into all of the categories, but I'm a chatty Cathy, so I really love someone who is going to, give me those words of affirmation, maybe because I'm the fifth child of 8, and, there's always kids and things going on that maybe I need to get enough attention, and now I need so much attention. So it really, depends on what you want, but thinking about what your love language is, and it doesn't have to be the same as your potential partner. So your partner might love getting gifts, whereas you love getting attention. As long as you identify that. There's so many things that you can talk about when it comes to senior dating, whether it's online or in person. And most importantly, I just want you to work on how you identify who you are and how you build your confidence to know what you're bringing to the table and that you're worth it to someone. You shouldn't need to change a lot about yourself to attract the right person for you, because they're going to see those qualities that they're looking for also.
Excellent, Mary.
Yeah,
you've just schooled us on some senior dating. I don't know about you. I'm sweating over here. I don't know what's going on. I'll tell you. So, but I guess the main thing is don't not try things.
Don't not
Get
try
out
things,
there,
because you
give it a
don't
shot.
know.
Yeah.
You don't know what will come of it. Even something totally unexpected,
Yeah.
and it might be beautiful. And whether it's a good time for a day or 10 months or 10 years, why not enjoy that good time with somebody? There's no guarantee to anything in life. Oh, wow. But if anybody wants to talk specifically or be coached on it, you can reach out to me. We can have a consultation. It's really not a one size fits all. We're all different. We're looking for different things, and we bring different gifts.
And what's your screen name?
My screen name.
So reach out.
I don't know. I'm totally honest online, and I think men like that because they don't have to guess.
Oh, God, yeah.
And even young men like to date older women because they tend to think older women know what they want, and they'll tell you what they want. So, it's all good.
I love you. You're the best. It's funny. I'm going to be doing this. I probably shouldn't say this, but by the time I edit this, it'll be good. We're actually doing the dating game in the senior developments for, it's called, yeah, you still got it. So we're doing interviews in, I think in April for a July show that we're going to be doing. Really? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be a lot of fun. And you know what? I like it because it's you still got it. And the whole idea is, I hate the fact that everybody's getting judged on pictures and all this other crap. And I hate the fact that, that it's so easy now. If you have an argument, it's like, it just must not be meant to be. It's like, oh my God, me and my wife would have been over a long time ago. And we still talk about. She threw a bowling ball down my street when we were kids. It was great. These arguments that we used to have. I don't know. You work through it, and so it's just such a different world. But Mary, thank you so much. You even took my game time away from you. But give her a big round of applause, Mary Kaba. We'll be right back. Get your screen names ready.
I need a screen name. Who's gonna be?
You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria. Thanks for joining us, and we will be right back.
Welcome back.
right, you guys, we are back, and guess what time it is? It is time for our...
Now it's time for Partners with Prizes.
That's right, it's Partners with Prizes, and today we've got Torrey Jansen, who is navigating the healthcare system and something every family faces eventually. They're representing Connect, an organization dedicated to helping individuals and families coordinate care, access services, and feel supported every step of the way. Because healthcare should come with guidance, clarity, and peace of mind. And to tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, here's Lisa, everybody. Let's hear for her. Woo-hoo-hoo. So, Lisa, what are you doing?
I'm with Mary. Mary and I decided to get together. For many years, we've been in our health careers. And I've done everything from with the National MS Society for 25 years to long-term care to working with home care. And Mary and I met the first time was about 20-something years ago. We did the caregiver coalitions. So the two of us are caregivers in our families. And it's hard when you're first starting to be a caregiver because you don't know who to call, where to go, where's help. It's just so hard to figure it out, right? So I was young and I was taking care of my uncle at the time. And I didn't realize they put him in a subacute and he was like 30 miles away from my house. And I had two little kids and I could have had him brought to a place closer to my house. Like little things like those nuances that you just don't know to make my life easier. I have little babies that I'm trying to take care of and my uncle. So I wanted a better way, and I started with the Ocean County Caregiver Coalition. Back in the day with Ocean County, they had the most seniors. I think now Bergen County has taken the lead in having the most seniors in that county. So every program in Ocean County, there was a waiting list, or this one was postponed, or this one was filled, and you really couldn't get good connections. So we joined this group for healthcare professionals, and it's called the Caregiver Coalitions. Mary and I did that for many years, and we found out great, updated, accurate information to share with other healthcare professionals so that they would know what programs are going on. Mary and I ran groups for caregivers, so we did various things. We still run a group together. It's for people that have family members that are living with dementia. And we meet once a month, and we try to help them along. And
Where are you guys meeting?
right now we're at Artist in Eatontown.
Okay.
We tried to do one during the day here at Harrogate, but not a lot of people could come, I guess, during the day. It wasn't a good time. So we'll revisit that someday and figure out what's a good, you got to find a good time for people, because caregivers have no time. It's hard, especially if they have somebody with dementia. It's really hard because they don't know when they can get away and when they can't get away. And so it's just hard. So, and they have guilt. So the guilt, they always feel bad doing something for themselves because they're so guilt-ridden. So Mary and I come from that passion. Okay, this is where we want to help people. Now, not only do we do the Ocean County Caregiver Coalition, we do Monmouth County, Mercer County, Middlesex County, and soon to be, starting in April, Somerset County. And this is where we get together with healthcare professionals, not so much just the caregivers, but with the healthcare professionals so they can share with their people that are caregivers on programs and services that we have in the area.
So can you help them? I mean, is it just about navigating it all? I know you guys have been in the field a long time, so you know a lot of people, you know a lot of things. So everything from the insurance to, what a situation where you can kind of walk them through.
Right. And the caregiver coalitions, we don't get paid for that. It's just something we do, and we volunteer, just like the groups, we volunteer. But Mary and I said, well, maybe we have to make a little bit of money here to live, right? We need some food. We had to pay for our bills, so we decided that we would start a business. And our business is, where we're making the money is mostly with home care. We can do home care for people, and we also can do placement for people if they need to go into assisted living. So we don't just say, hey, you need a home care person, and we send in an aide. We send them a letter saying, do you need an estate lawyer? Because we will give you a couple references for estate lawyers that are in your county. So each county, we know these people, we've made these relationships, and we want to share that with the people that we're helping. So that's where we're a little bit different. Not only do we do home care and placement, but we also connect you. We connect you with PTs and OTs. We connect you with if you need a Medicaid app. anything that you might need, if you need a trust, anything you need besides just home care and placement, this is where Mary and I come in, and we want to help. We want to give you a suggestion. Like, I just met with an old high school friend of mine who lives in Toms River, and his wife got Parkinson's. And I'm going to say the name. You're not going to know him, not his last name, his full last name. But I said to Mary, it was so funny because I get this message. Yo, Lisa, it's Johnny G. Remember me? It was really funny to hear that voice. I haven't heard it in many years. And he needed home care for his wife because he's a caregiver, the primary caregiver. And he needed to get out, like maybe to go golfing or to just do the shopping alone, or just to maybe go see a movie, or just to go visit a few friends for lunch. Yeah. He just needs a couple hours, 2 days a week to just get a relief and know that she's safe and okay. And now you're sitting there with the person, his wife, him and his sister, and you're sitting there, and they've never gone to a lawyer. She has long-term care. She didn't know how to use that. Like, they just don't know how should they get started, right? So it felt so good to have knowledge to not only share with an old friend, but to be able to say, hey, first of all, you need to call your long-term care. Second of all, you need to go to a lawyer to see if you can put your house in a trust. Third of all, maybe she should get a Medicaid application put in, right? So there's just so many nuances to it, and Mary and I take such pride that we have so many connections that we can help people because, yeah, sure, I could have said, sure, I do home care. Here's an aide. I got her in your house 2 days a week, and that's it. We want to help people with more.
So how's it work though? So I mean, I know, does it usually root from the home care experience, or like what if someone is navigating, so they're like, listen, I don't know what to do next, then they call you and then talk it over, and then does the financial part of it that comes later, or how does it work?
We don't charge for case management. We don't charge for placement. All we charge for is really the home care. Okay. Then we have this other special feature, which Mary primarily does, and she does life coaching, grieving coaching. She helps the families when they're in the midst of dementia and they're starting that grieving process because, yes, the person hasn't passed, but they're not there, right? Because they're full on dementia. Mary she can help them with counseling. So that's another way. Then she would charge per hour for the counseling and the coaching that she does. So those are the different things we do. We do make money at it, but not, I would say we make money at about 25% of what we do, and the rest is what we do because that's who we are as people. Yeah. We're caregivers and we want to help. And like I said, we've been part of the caregiver coalitions, which we never get any money for. There's never any charge for that. And this is what we've done all our lives. So
it's hard. It's hard to navigate. I mean, it really is. And even if you're in this field, it doesn't, it's, we always talk about it, right? You get a call from every single person thinking that you know everything, and we don't. You might know some people, which is great. And so tell me how the process would work. And like, if someone's listening to this right now, what is it that they should be hearing? Like, because I mean, sometimes what I've noticed too, especially your sandwich generation, we were just talking about this, how we don't, when I had to take care of my father-in-law, when I took care of my mom, like you go to this situation where this person who was always your parent, right, you're taking the shift, and it's like just dealing with that on a regular basis can be very tough. And so where do you turn, and at what point do you know that like this is the right call to make? And if not, I guess you'll steer them the right way, right?
That's exactly right. Like I had a young girl who was the same age as my daughter, who just had a baby like my daughter, and she was taking care of her mom at her house with a newborn baby, and her mom was full on dementia and getting significantly worse. It was progressing and progressing. And here she is on the phone with me. Hey, I know I met you at this, I talk in front of seniors like y'all. And she said, I met you there, and can I talk this through with you? Because we have a house in the Poconos that my husband and I like to go to with the kids, and we're taking mom, but she's not comfortable there anymore. Maybe I need an aide for the weekends that we're going up to the Poconos that could come in the house and stay with my mom. Okay, we'll start with that. But then it wasn't comfortable for her to do that anymore because even when they were home, it was still too much with a newborn baby and her going through what she was going through. Yeah. So then we decided to talk about placement. Then we had to figure out what place could take her. Her mom didn't have a 2-year spend down. She didn't have funds to be able to go. So we had to find a unique place for her where she could go. Then the daughter, like, she needed counseling after that. You know what I'm saying? So it was really great that we would be able to help her in all aspects. Like, we didn't push her into, like, going to an assisted living. We let it naturally progress, and we stay with that relationship, and we really connected. We really connect with our clients so that we don't just help you for that first thing. We try to help you and stay with you because we know who you are, what you need, and what the situation is. So it's great to be helping all areas.
That's fantastic. That's great. And how do people find you guys? Do you have a website, phone number? What do you got?
We have phone numbers, our website, and we are.
What's the website?
Well, it's not finished yet. So
by the time I get this out, it will be. Trust me.
Yeah. So I'll give you the web. I'll send that to you. You can put out.
All right.
But right now you can call Mary or I, and we have our phone numbers on our card. My number is 732-318-7086. We are licensed with the state of New Jersey, and we are in the process right now of getting accredited at the same time. So
good for you. Good luck, man.
Should be fun.
Great. Oh, that's awesome. I think it's great, though. If you're doing, especially the case management, that's the biggest thing these days that I think it really needs a lot of work.
And it can't just be someone who. So the big part of that is a lot of case managers are getting paid.
They get paid big time.
And they're just doing it for where they get paid. Like, we do the caregiver coalitions. We're not getting paid for those people that we're connected to.
Right.
So it's just a little cleaner. And like when we send you references, we don't send you one. We send you 2 to 3 references. Like if somebody says, oh, well, I need a lawyer, we'll send them 3 lawyers.
Yeah.
You know, we want to make sure that they're really getting, and there are 3 lawyers that we've already vetted and we're comfortable with, right? So we really, that's our difference. That's our little star that we like to shine.
That's cool. Yeah, well, no, it's important because I think a lot of people don't realize that there can be a lot of money behind the scenes. So it's great to do on what's best, and then
hopefully and we think, but when we build our relationship by staying connected with them, that's how you really get good results.
Well, thank you for telling us about this. I'm really excited about this. I wish you the best of luck. And now we get to give something away.
Yay!
Now it's time for Partners with.
All right, here we go. So you got to pick a ticket. There's 5 tickets in here that someone doesn't have, so I apologize if we picked the wrong one. Get your tickets out. Folks, it's time. We're going to win some Dunkin' Donuts, baby. Dunkin' Donuts
and, wait a minute, and Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, so you can choose your favorite donut place and then call our cardiologist on the way out of here.
Nothing like a jelly donut.
That's right. What do we got?
367-513-10.
Who's got 1-0? Oh, we got a winner right up front. Here you go. Congratulations. We'll get it to you in 1 second, but we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of our guests. Oh, wait, I didn't even play this with you. Hold on. I got one question I got to ask.
Okay.
I got to do my game time with you before I say goodbye. I'm sorry. Yes, it's absolutely game time. This is going to be, let's see. This is actually a good one. All right. Only one. I'll be good. True or false? Most seniors see multiple doctors making coordinating. Oh, wait, that's too easy. That's stupid. That's dumb. I'm not doing that one. How about this one? I like this one. All right. Multiple choice. Healthcare navigation services may help you with finding specialists. That's A. B. Understanding insurance. That's B. C. Scheduling appointments. That's C. Or D. All of the above.
All
of the above. We got a whole bunch of winners here, guys. Thank you so much. We want to thank all of our guests. Honestly, Dr. Thomas Rizzo from our Community Connection, Mary Kaba, and Lisa Torrey Jansen from Connect. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to leave you with some love. So long, everybody.
Bye.